Bitcoin continues its breakdown. We have Genesis halting withdrawals. The US CPI data has markets basically having no hope of inflation ever hitting 2% again. And we have a major stablecoin depegging. What the hell's going on? All this and more on today's Blockchain Basement.
Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this? I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What do you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're gonna get back below there. But if we do, that's kind of where we.
Oh, yeah. What is up? What is going on? It is Thursday. Fantastic Thursday. Thirsty Thursday. I still have more snack energy drink to get through here. Just about had a heart attack, I think. I almost died yesterday from it. BJ, did you have any?
You almost died from all the gains?
Well, that could have been it. I was also in the gym doing some benching. So
and
maybe
also took pre-workout.
And also
there's some relevant information here.
Pre-workout,
okay.
Allegedly. Okay, I like pre-workout. I like coffee. I like energy drinks. And I had to try a little of the snack. I might be finishing it slowly today. Make sure my ticker keeps on ticking. But thanks for joining us here. We got a very special guest in the studio today. Allison, it's been... You've never been on the show. What is going on?
Hello. Special guest appearance. This is my time to shine.
Yes, it's huge. It's huge. This is the release of Allison into the wild of the ethos that is the digital sphere. Welcome, welcome. BJ.
When Allison coin.
When Allison coin?
No,
is that what we just brought up?
I don't do that.
Oh my God.
Never.
Oh my God.
Wait,
We love Allison. Allison's literally the best ever, though.
No, wait, this is important. Did you straighten your hair, young lady?
No, I blow dried it last night. I don't know if you were talking to her.
Oh, I'm not used to two.
You both have pretty straight hair.
You both have great hair right now.
Yeah,
I blow dried it last night because if I sleep with a wet scalp, it makes my scalp itch. So if I shower at night, I have to blow dry my hair.
Oh my God.
Fact about Allison. Sharing my life here.
Allison is our Daria, by the way.
Yeah, pretty much.
She's hilarious.
My scalp did itch quite a bit when I was attacked by a swarm of wasps. I broke out into hives, and that was the first time I really experienced, I messed up my hair. I knew I was going to do it. Yeah, I just did my hair.
You should have blow dried it.
Yeah, I had basically a hives breakout. I thought I got struck by electricity or something like that when I cut down a tree and was swarmed. So thank you for joining us today. Stroked RB 1500 horsepower club. Morning. Never seen quite a name right there. C90 FTW, Chili Rainbow, Nicole Minnis, Spaceman V. Very fantastic.
Wait, RB, isn't that a Honda engine?
What? The Honda engine?
Is that an RB or is it Toyota? Anyway.
No.
This is going to be the most ADD
We went on-
episode
yeah.
ever.
We went on a
Let's
car
episode.
rant yesterday. We can't
did.
do that
Okay,
today.
we can't do it.
We can't do it today. I can go back on my history in high school of rapping DSMs. That's what they were, Eagle Talons. I wrapped many around a tree. Bitcoin is not doing so hot still, but it hasn't continued to fall on the news. We are going to be getting into the news of Genesis here in the show today. In general, it is losing a bit of its support. We were trying to watch and see if it could hold this 27.2 spot. It did not do that and has since broken down. Now, how low it goes is the big question on everybody's mind. Is it going to breach this double tap at 25K and continue lower, giving us even better entry points, or are we basically going to find some support here and continue on up from there? That's the big question in many minds. I still am sticking to my thesis that we are going to hold this 25 spot, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But honestly, I am only watching Bitcoin in relevance to majority of my bag, which is in Chainlink. I am basically a Chainlink maxi. You can judge me as you may. BJ can have his ADA. I have my Chainlink. Chainlink holding out decently well. Here's the month on it. Now, the big question for Chainlink is if it's going to break back into that just below $7.15 mark. Basically, it's been ranging in this spot all year. And one of the things that I'm watching for is to see if we can catch a support line above this $7.10 range to actually begin building back on up for the bull run. Chainlink performed extremely well in comparison to the rest of the market pretty early on in the last bull market. It went all the way. So this is the flu season right here. People sneezed across the world and created a great buying opportunity for me. I got Chainlink right around $2.50. It dipped all the way down to $2.20 at a point. And within that short amount of time, I just want to highlight, it was a very aggressive mover in the front end of the last bull market, which landed it at $16 before consolidating back down. Everyone kind of realized, yes, the halving has happened. All coins are pumping. Right around this time, Doge absolutely exploded. And game time was on. So Chainlink, I'm feeling fantastic about. It is majority of what my portfolio is in right now. Not going to tell you how much, but I am heavily over-invested in Chainlink. So kind of watching the comparison between Bitcoin and Chainlink has been fun for me. I know I had brought up a few weeks back just that relationship to Chainlink and Bitcoin. Every time Chainlink hit that $8.50 level, we would see a massive correction in Bitcoin. Haven't really seen that massive correction yet, but let's see if this news from Genesis might push us down into those levels, because that'd be great for me in my stacking of more and more Link. Let's see here. So Genesis halted withdrawals.
They sold, or Gemini was selling it, correct?
That's the thing here. Pull my screen now. I want to go to the discrepancy.
Gemini
here.
never had ADA, by the way.
Yeah, they never had ADA.
Never had ADA.
Yeah. Gemini has Chainlink. Genesis does not have Chainlink.
They had Doge Elon Mars or whatever it was.
Yes.
But no
yes.
ADA.
Let me see here if I can find. Here it is. Okay. So this is the actual Grayscale Chainlink Trust. Sell it at $20 per unit, which is interesting, but it basically just
unit.
Yeah, unit. But this is the actual Grayscale Trust. If you go down and see how much they have, net assets come out to $2.2 million worth of Chainlink in Grayscale. And now I just wanted to reference that in the story. A lot of people are calling for a massive Chainlink dump from this Genesis news. Just want to highlight they're two different companies. Yes, it's a subsidiary of Grayscale and DCG. This is all one gigantic polycule of digital currency group down to Grayscale, down to Genesis. Okay, so the Genesis is the low man on the totem pole when it comes to staying solvent from the collapse that happened about, what was that, like Luna crash? What was that?
So you're
big
saying
collapse?
that's the Chainlink of custody between.
That
all
is the
these
chain link of custody
companies.
between. God, you're terrible.
I know.
Well, the Human Centipede. Anyone seen the movie?
Oh my
Zoinks.
gosh.
Have you seen the
scarring.
movie?
It's more of
Yeah.
a way of life.
Yeah, it's a way of life. It just is a great kind of metaphor to how this monetary system
Well,
is
I mean,
set up.
it
you know?
talks
Okay.
about the importance of recycling.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Okay, but what would be the Human Centipede 2?
The Human
that one
they
is
came
way
out with
worse.
it. I didn't
Does
watch
it go the other way?
Oh my god.
No, and then the third one is like they're all in a giant line with like hundreds of prisoners.
Oh my
That is-
god. That is
Never
so
got around to
terrible.
watching that one, but
That's hot.
They just keep upping the ante, man. That's kind of like the Federal Reserve, but we'll get into that. According to recent reports, crypto company Genesis has suspended customer withdrawals in its lending unit. The lending unit was the lending arm of Gemini and Gemini Earn, adding to the already tumultuous landscape of the digital currency industry. Bankruptcy judge approves $175 million settlement between Genesis and FTX. This is more fallout from fantastic Caroline Ellison and Sam Bankman-Fried. According to Scott Melker, great account to follow, the Wolf of All Streets. A bankruptcy judge in New York has recently approved this settlement, $175 million between Genesis and the global trading arm of FTX, which is now obviously in front of God and country, being ripped apart in front of courts, divvying up whatever small amount of money is left for the talking heads, and then giving the pittance to the people that were actually the victims of being stolen from, whatever's left after the lawyers and all the kind of litigation fees get paid. Overall, Genesis' decision to suspend customer withdrawals, bankruptcy filing, and subsequent settlement with FTX underscores the challenges inherent to the cryptocurrency industry. They're just broad stroking. You're all bad. You're all naughty. This is traditional finance at arbitrage cryptocurrency. I think I have the story as well somewhere around here, but it's also being found that Sam was trying to keep the price of Bitcoin below 20,000, right around the time of right after their collapse. Pretty nefarious back end ideas. And we've been hinting at that, seeing that kind of restricted double top that Bitcoin had on the last bull market. If we look at this chart, the overall, this was definitely felt like blue balls at the time. Definitely felt like blue balls. Like if you're following just how things had gone, that was the reason everyone was targeting 100Ks, because historical data was pointing there. And I'm sure I can find the story later on, but Sam was trying to keep that number right in the 20K or below range for Bitcoin after the company kind of collapsed and got found out in front of God and country. So definitely a interesting thing to see. We also have Friday the 13th coming up. A lot of calls, a lot of worries for Friday the 13th. You guys think it's sketchy? Are we going to have a bad Friday the 13th? First of all, let's get predictions before we go into the story. Hannah, what's it going to be? Is it going to be a calm Friday the 13th, or is this mysticism going to take over?
I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I think it'll be a little spooky Friday, but everybody's just causing commotion for no reason.
BJ, what do you think?
I mean, there aren't any futures that are expiring tomorrow, are there?
Well, that depends on what kind of futures you're talking about.
Mhm. Tune in next week.
Yeah.
humanity.
Yeah, there's been a couple worries about a overall call. Let's see. I'm not going to say it on live, but let's see if it's trending so I can. Yeah, here it is. Pull up my screen. So, yeah, this is trending. So that's scheduled for tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes.
Dude, that was a really good TCG.
Wait, is tomorrow Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No. I feel like
ready.
everything has just kind of calmed down. So
I know. It needs to calm down. We need to calm
yeah,
down.
so hopefully this Friday the 13th is great, and it's green for everyone. Woo! Because historically, kind of, sort of.
I love your BB like, woo.
The markets have been green, but personally, I hope it's a boring day for me.
Yeah. Well,
Wow, I'm on that trending topic right now on Twitter. It is not pretty, bro.
it's not looking good.
Why did you
not
do
looking
this
good.
to me?
I'm sorry. I just had to point it
No,
out.
my
Interesting.
boyfriend Carlos last night was looking on Twitter. He was
Wait,
scaring
my name's
himself.
not Carlos.
He was he was freaking himself out on Twitter, being like, "Oh my God, they're gonna come." He like started putting chairs in front of our front door and stuff, like in case somebody broke in our house. I'm like, we're in some random neighborhood in Atlanta. Like, no,
It's like the purge.
nobody. Yeah, no, like we don't. We're okay.
Oh man, if you are a preparedness-minded individual, you can find me on other links to delve into those types of subject matters. Stay prepared. It's useful thing. It's useful for finance too. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, that's just a waste of money. But man, I'll tell you, when flu season happened and I already had a year's worth of food and all the toilet paper I needed, I could use all that extra money to go buy Bitcoin while everyone's freaking out, running, acting like it's the end of the world. It's just the end of the world as you know it. Change is guaranteed. You will see those things happen. So being prepared just helps you operate from a position of strength. Not trying to sell you down the river on it, but I'm just telling you how it did for me. It was fantastic. This is an interesting story though. Friday the 13th in Bitcoin. Is it unlucky for crypto traders? Kind of spooky. We're getting in the holiday spirit. I'm feeling it. You know what I mean?
Mariah Carey slowly thethawing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. She's getting ready. She's getting ready for it. I am so excited for the holidays.
Just one thing.
Do you guys just love? All right, here's something that's kind of weird about what I like about the holidays now. So I have a big family, and every single time Halloween began, I was expected to transport all of my children around, 5 different families for every single holiday day, which ended up making me eat, somewhere around 10 to 15 pounds of food per day of these holidays, to be polite. It felt kind of uncomfortable. Now that I'm in Georgia, they have to come to me. It's more spread out. It's more kind of set up for, where I control the situation. I love the holidays out here. A little bit separated is it's not so high strung. So I'm just kind of excited about Halloween in general. My daughter was driving down the street, bringing up the fact they saw a 15-foot werewolf that spoke to them last year. So it's kind of just reignited the kid excitement for me. So make sure you take your kids and go trick-or-treating. Make sure they stay safe, obviously, this Halloween. But, go have fun. This Friday the 13th that's coming up, it's considered the unluckiest of days due to various superstitions that date back to being bearish for the S&P 500, Wall Street benchmark equity index. Data tracked by crypto service provider. I think that was the GTR.
Is
I'm glad
that
we're in
sounds
the
a
base.
little bit more guttural than the GTR.
Yeah.
Is that the GTR? What is that?
It sounds like something's on the roof.
Maybe it's
Like it's
a
above
which
us.
is not
Are
an
we
RB
getting ambushed?
Is that a helicopter?
which is not an
It
RB28
literally
get.
sounded like a helicopter.
Dude, is there a Black
I'll be
Hawk
back. I want-
helicopter?
Wait. Are they tracking us?
I'll be right back.
Are they?
BJ's gonna go
They
check
got into
our
my
roof.
tile
Is
again.
it going again?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, no.
I'm actually just like
There
I'm
it is.
I'm
There
a.
it is. Now, if
BJ's
you were in
going
the
to
studio, you'd hear
investigate.
we're listening to. I think it's some kind of race car. Yeah, I think BJ's kind of freaking out a little bit. So
Well, we did just look at that scary trending topic.
but we didn't really say it though, Alice. All we did was look. You know what I mean? We're still in the green here. We're
well,
still in the green.
we're all a little on edge.
Yeah, world's on edge. And it's going to be scary. It's Friday the 13th, right? What if something spooky happens? Data tracked by crypto service provider Matrix Port showed since 2010, Bitcoin has risen 1% on average on Friday the 13th, with prices then surging an average of 14% and 66% 1 and 3 months, respectively, following those peculiar Fridays. That's an interesting note to see. So
Since 2010.
yeah, that's an
yeah,
interesting
correct.
note. That's an interesting. So we might actually have some good
66%
times.
in 3 months.
And this might just
3
be
months.
like the holidays start up, right? And the spending starts up. I know that. I mean, the idea that Bitcoin isn't really looked at in the holidays, I don't think is accurate. I feel like we've seen some good price action during the holiday season. And then Christmas, you're always waiting for that. Is Santa going to bring us a God Kendall miracle or whatever? But this is just looking at analyzing the price performance for all Friday the 13th for Bitcoin. And it in general is pretty dang green. So they have quite a good success rate. Are we alive, BJ?
It was just a Honda Civic.
It was no, it wasn't.
I'm kidding.
What was
way.
that?
The new Vet.
Oh,
Yeah.
That
Who got,
sounds like
who got a
it's
vet?
stroked
There's a new
What's
vet.
a vet?
Corvette.
Is it a nice
I
one?
thought you were talking about
Yeah,
like
Who
an
got a
animal vet.
Corvette?
Somebody.
Okay.
Okay.
I love those new ones. Those are sick.
Yeah.
I'll have to go check that out. So this might not actually be too bad for Bitcoin, even though S&P 500 hasn't had a good track record on this devious day. Note that Bitcoin has dived out of its bullish trend line, characterizing September's bounce from 25K to 28.5. So just keeping a level head on it. But in general, it looks like it's actually had historically a good time. I just am going back to this thing. I really feel like this is holding this spot. There's
19.7.
If I was already you want 19.7.
19.7.
That's all the way. That's below that.
Mm-hmm.
You thinking that?
19.7 by the end of the year. Even if we just wick.
I hope so. I'll snatch it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I'm not even excited about Bitcoin anymore. I've kind of made my stand into the altcoin realm, built the Chainlink bag. The one I'm judging right now is HBAR. Still holding the HBAR. It hasn't been performing nearly as good as Chainlink, but that's neither here nor there.
Drew, I have a question.
What's that?
Why do some people love Litecoin? What does Litecoin do?
It's proof of work. It's been around for 10 years. It's kept working. It has not done well in price. Let's look at this. I wonder how Tom Crown is
While
doing.
he looks this up, I have to tell y'all my first crypto that I ever bought. So I started with Doge because it was trending on Twitter, and we were like, "Oh yeah, Elon Musk, he must know what he's talking about."
When was this?
This was like 2021.
Okay.
And that's mistake number one. If they're talking about it on Twitter, that's the top. No, don't do that. So then I'm like, oh, crypto, that's cool. Yeah. So then I look at the top 10 cryptos and I'm like, oh, Litecoin is the cheapest here. Let's pick up some Litecoin and maybe it'll go up as much as Doge. No. I think it moved a couple cents, couple dollars.
Yep.
From when you bought it?
Yeah,
It
and
was
then I
16.
pretty much switched it into ETH, and a few weeks later it went to 2,500 or whatever.
There you go.
They
Okay.
made the prediction, and I followed.
Some
6.2.
come ups on ETH then for you?
Yeah, I'm a big ETH fan. I'm
ETH
like,
max.
yeah, I
BJ
know
not.
BJ, but I also like Cardano. I like Cardano too.
Daniel Sahal just ruined my hopes of this Corvette. He's saying he's 6'2" and can't even fit in the Corvette. That screws me out of so many vehicles.
Wait, that means I can't fit in a Corvette?
But he said 6'2" ain't that tall at all. ... Average tall
It
guy.
is. That's
But to a vet driver, I'm huge. I'm daddy. I'm Mr. Mustang.
I mean, in this office, 6'2" probably is the average height.
well, yeah. I mean, I think we're kind of taller than the average grouping of people.
I feel short in this office.
Like Justin Williams wears a size 14 shoe or something.
Yeah.
Both of my feet could fit in one of his shoes.
Yeah. Litecoin is at $61.
Oh, I bought it at like 150 or something.
Yeah. So
it
it went up
moves,
to
guys. It moves.
It
That's good
did.
to
I mean,
know.
well, it's got better volatility. Went up to 115. Now it's all the way down to $60. God, this might actually. Look at it. It's dipping into these low, it's bottom of the barrel hold line. I mean, it's had higher lows. If you notice that, higher low here, here. If it can bounce off here, I mean, that's just following this basic trend line. My God, this actually might be a really good buy right now. I'm seeing it's $33 it held there, dipped down to 23 there, up all in threes. Notice that 23, 33, 43.
That's some that's Illuminati shit right
That's
there.
some
What is the total supply?
Total supply is at 84 million Litecoin. Higher supply than Bitcoin. It's a proof of work, though. And like I said, it's been around for a long time. It keeps
Is it a
working.
fork? All right.
Yeah, it was a fork of, I think it was a fork of Bitcoin.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's an interesting, just looking at this price graph. I mean, I know what Litecoin is. We hear it all the time, but seeing this thing dip down back into this range, I'm superstitiously looking for 53, I guess, maybe.
But you're really only, roughly a 6x to its all-time high?
Yeah, well, its all-time high realized in the last bull market was around $375.
Which, again, we're jaded. 6x,
I know. Don't be
6x
so,
is great.
It
it is
so
great.
jaded.
We're like, that's nothing.
That's nothing. Unbelievable.
Also,
Maybe
just
I have
want to
look
say
at it.
shout out to all the short kings.
Short Kings?
We love the short kings.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about height-wise.
You mean the court jesters? Got it!
BJ.
How's the weather down there?
This is terrible. This is terrible. You know, you never underestimate short men or women. You know, my mom's very short, and she has broken the knees of some very large individuals. So, you know, never underestimate small people.
I'm really short, but I'm not intimidating at all.
Yeah.
That's
I
who
think
you should
you
be
actually-
afraid of.
I think you intimidate me. You
No,
intimidate
remember you were
scared
like
about
talking about how I don't ever yell?
Yeah.
I'm really not scary, guys. Don't worry.
You terrify me pretty much every morning. You come in and you just, you know, you're like, hi. And I'm like, oh my God. What now?
Yeah, I'm super scary. Me going, hi.
Yeah.
It's really
just
scary.
unbelievable. So, oh, great. So Genesis is breaking down. We'll see where that goes. This is from Sentiment, just on overall chain movements. A growing amount of outstanding futures and options towards Bitcoin may be lending to crypto's failure to launch here in October. Rising open interest, particularly when Bitcoin starts to see $7 billion or more, often signals greed. For now, it sits at $6.19 billion. This is just on the futures market, showing all kinds of crazy shit. But basically, people are thinking there's going to be downward action, and you know that's just kind of created from the overall markets moving in mass. That's literally why I moved the opposite direction. Once I see overall markets agreeing with me, I changed my thesis, because not all of us can be right. Not even most of us are going to be right. So if more and more people start agreeing with me, then I start questioning myself that much more. You know, just my overall kind of bellwether for life. Usually helps when not following cheap.
That is such a Drew thing to say.
What?
If something becomes true, it's not a conspiracy, so Drew doesn't believe it anymore.
Pretty much, you know, and I don't trust you if you have not been banned off of social media. So,
I don't think I do enough on social media to get banned.
You know,
I
well,
never post.
You know what they say in hockey: if you're not in the penalty box every now and again, you ain't playing hard enough, right? That's what they say. What is that? Do we have an alert going on?
I'm getting a potential spam call.
Good.
Should we answer it live? No, I'm kidding.
No, absolutely not.
We got excited.
Guys,
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Give them their codes.
I do want to talk, like, just 2 seconds. Twitter loves to ban people now.
Oh,
Twitter
Hannah's had a bad
I've had a bad
Yes.
time with Twitter, with X. But I've noticed it's not just me. It's happened to me more than one occasion at this point. But there's other big accounts that are permanently suspended. They get suspended.
Really?
They don't know why. They contact them and try to like get help, and they just never hear anything. And then their account is in permanent suspension mode. Like,
That's happened like 3 times to ATB.
Don't you mean
Yeah.
impermanent, not impermanent?
Here we
in
go.
permanent.
Yeah, that extra hump makes a difference.
IN.
Oh my God,
yeah.
BJ.
It's in permanent.
There we go.
suspension.
Okay.
So like it's a read only. You can't tweet anything. You can't interact with anybody. I've seen that happen to like a few accounts, and they've had to completely start over, which is just really not fair.
That sucks. That sucks. You know, and I'm experiencing Instagram is sharing my stuff like crazy for some reason. I don't understand what happened. They started doing it with the Titanic JPM story, BJ. The one that we thought this is going to be where they just kill this channel forever.
Yeah.
That's what we thought. Ever since
Drew,
then, it's been going well. What's
Are
that?
you about to be the, like the half screen where it's like Subway Surfer on one side and then like somebody's like talking on the other? Are we about to see the Drew being the video, the truth being the video with the Subway Surfer?
Oh my God. You know, I'm
Or the
pushing the
slime?
bounds. I'm pushing the bounds. I got people's feathers ruffled by bringing up the fact that in 1974, DARPA helped design kind of the basic layman of the internet and a lot of the switches that Bitcoin uses for its operation. And even just that fact, I mean, it's true. It gets people ruffled. I like getting people kind of thinking about what are the potentials. Maybe the U.S. government did create the internet and Bitcoin knowing that they're going to collapse. Let Russia and China move all of their backing into it because they want to escape the US dollar. And then, oh my God, we control that too. I mean, I'm just saying nefariously, if I was, it's the Phantom of the Opera.
One of those countries doesn't have a central bank owned by blank and blank.
Right. 189 or 180 watching, 49 likes. Smash the like.
Get those likes up.
Give us a like.
God, Owen found out about the brown button.
Yeah, he did. He's getting a little feisty here.
I think I do better than the button though,
Go!
That really like,
We're about
is
to lose
invigorating.
all 180 viewers. Like,
Yeah.
what is this?
No, that's really invigorating. So, Coinbase spot
They should've
trading
known.
on the trading side, where all the actions happen in spot trading on Coinbase has actually fallen by 52% compared to 2022. Now, in general, yes, it's the bear market, right? You can expect a headline like this. This seems like nothing. But the contrast here that I thought was interesting was that you look at DEX trading. So DEX, to centralized exchange spot trading volume, is getting close to a new all-time high.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Like
this
you
is
read the
great.
first article and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
nobody's trading crypto. And then you read the second one. Oh, people are figuring out not to use sexes.
Right, 100%. Like DEXs are getting better. More
Sexes.
people are starting to realize that using a sex is certainly not risk-free. Not. Slowly but surely, DeFi is taking over. This is what I like to see because people are realizing that they don't need the middleman centralized exchange to get access to crypto. It's why I was behind ThorChain. Knew ThorChain was going to run into some problems last week, even before they officially did. I want to see where the price has gone because that thing is retracing nicely. And I wanted to get an entry point. If I remember correctly, I think I wanted Thor around $1.
So you're trying to pull a Caroline Ellison?
Essentially.
Get a good entry point?
Essentially. I'm scooping around. I'm using the slippery stuff, trying to find a good entry point here. I'm thinking $1 is the spot I'm looking for. So expect the FUD to increase against ThorChain, but I don't think it's going to be put out of existence by the FUD. One thing I am watching, though, is these lower highs that it experienced just in general in the macro through the bull market. But we have to keep in mind centralized exchanges were much more preferred than DEXs at this time. So maybe that plays into why this has experienced that. But in essence, I don't think it's crazy to expect somewhere around at least a $10 ThorChain token price by the next bull market. So this is definitely one I'm watching.
So Eric Carlson says ThorChain is also a dumpster. But okay. I'm not saying you're incorrect. Just wanted your opinion.
The general thing that I knew they were going to run into, this is the wrong story. I knew that they were going to run into problems with being looked at by the Department of Justice once all of those kind of stolen funds, I think it was from the Lazarus Group. I think the fact that they came from the Lazarus Group and went through that system kind of put a red target on their back, and they're going to experience something like what we saw with Tornado Cash. Now, to the degree, I don't know if they're going to have their people arrested or anything like that. I think that was just like kind of a show of force and making an example out of a developer on Tornado Cash's side. But ThorChain is likely going to have that target because when a Lazarus Group or some kind of nation state hacking system infiltrates, there is new doors that are opened in the deep, dark ongoing cavern of the federal government's capabilities. And I think that Tornado Cash saw a little bit of that, but we're probably going to see a little bit more downward pressure on ThorChain because of all those worries, unfortunately. But we can take good out of the example, know that DEXs are rising on their usage, even though we have the short-term FUD that'll come after DEXs in the short term because of the hackers and all the stuff going on. You can use that to your advantage and get good entry points, because trying to kill decentralized exchanges, I would liken to trying to chase a cat through an open prairie after it just ingested 2 months worth of diet pills. It's very difficult to do. And they move very, very fast. So I don't think that...
Wait, are we talking about Never mind.
Yeah. So we're, thinking that decentralized exchanges are going to outmaneuver the centralized entities that want to stop these from existence. I know that there's a lot of FUD and we're going to take them out, but it's quite a difficult task to do. On the, we've been talking about different decentralized stable coins, how they're algorithmically based. I think it was, what was the one we were calling? It was FracShare, the algorithmic stable coin for FracShare and all of its decentralized capabilities. But we had a little problem on, I believe it was a Polygon-based stablecoin, which depegged. And a trader swapped 130,000 stablecoins for $0 during the USDR peg. Looks like it happened overnight. During yesterday's real estate-backed US dollar stablecoin, Real USDR's crisis, A trader appears to have swapped 131,000 of these things for 0 USD coin, resulting in a complete loss of that. Absolutely brutal.
I love how it's called real USD.
I know, God.
And it's backed by nothing, just like USD.
I know. And the jokes write themselves here. It's in the reality.
At least the flavor text is on brand.
That's true.
And people still don't realize it.
Yeah,
Still don't get it.
October 11th, USDR depegged after users requested over 10 million stablecoins in redemptions. Despite being 100% backed, less than 15% of its $45 million in assets were backed by liquid projects tokens, with the remaining backed by illiquid tokenized real estate assets.
I also like how USDR is one letter off from who might end up owning us.
You're trying to get me banned. Yeah. You're trying to send me down the bad. You know what? Just prepare. Things are going to get nasty. You're going to like lead in the future. But to anyone that was in USDR, my heart goes out to him because this always sucks to see a stablecoin infrastructure kind of fall like that. I wonder if it has regained its value here. Let me see.
Sucks to suck.
I'm kidding. It is not looking well. Not
Oh my God.
looking
Good
well.
That's a terrible chart.
This is seeming unwell. Can somebody please call the devs?
Looks pretty
are we trying to do a basic equation with Pythagorean's theorem?
Yeah, this is
Hey,
we're just missing the hypotenuse, and then we got a geometry lesson going on that chart.
pretty much. Just oh God, something's wrong, and then everything's wrong, and
wow.
I really hope that they're able to recoup because that would definitely suck. I remember how scary it was when USDC depegged. USDC went down to I think 87 cents.
I remember that.
You remember that? And it was all the Silicon Valley was holding, I think it was $3 billion worth of assets for Circle, USDC, which brought that price down to 87 cents. The market was just about to lose its mind. We were trying to build out of that trough of 20K at the time. Absolutely brutal. So you hate to see it. I know that they're trying to do good things, but backing your stablecoin with illiquid assets is a dumbass move. So I don't understand why that was allowed to be done that way. This is more of the aggravation I have in general with traditional finance-minded people coming into the crypto sphere and the crypto ethos and trying to rehypothecate their debt-leveraged, valued assets into the crypto sphere. Just causes for more problems. And these problems break quicker and are not regulated, so they're not saved the same way that banks are saved by the federal government when things break on that side. You're trying to, compare an apple to an orange. The banking infrastructure has the U.S. government that's interested in keeping it above water. Crypto, half of them want it, half of them don't. You have to realize that. So, pour some liquor out for those holding real USD. That absolutely looked brutal. I want to go through... No, what is this? I put some new stuff in here. Oh yeah, treasury bonds. But hold on, Owen. Hold on. You calm down, you. All right, so treasury bonds. Yeah. Don't get up.
I just see Michael Myers.
Yeah. This is from Conks. Absolutely great account to follow for treasuries and bond movements. Pour some out for the buyers of these treasuries. We appreciate your sacrifice. And this is just absolutely fantastic. This is going out to all those poor saps that are being
One for
taught.
my homies.
Yeah,
Pour one out for them.
They're keeping the Ponzi scheme going, buying the U.S. treasuries for the government fiat Ponzi scheme to keep moving forward. So fantastic work. Then we also have this. Steve Scalise is not looking like he has enough votes to get the Speaker of the House position. I am hopeful that Tom Emmer is looked at a little bit more seriously. It's a little bit aggravating that Steve Scalise was hoisted to the top. He's just another deep state, warmonger, in my opinion, that we don't need at the head of this situation. So I really feel like we should be hoisting Tom Emmer up harder. I know I've talked about him a lot on this show, but it's up to us to spread this show to other shows, make other people look at Tom Emmer, look at what he's been saying, because he's been saying all the perfect things. He might even be so perfect that he's also a Fed here, but he's so far checked all the boxes for what I'm looking for out of a representative in our elected infrastructure that's going to push for our right to transact in a free open market, because that is being questioned. I know it's how can they question our ability to just send money to and from each other without them not taking their cut? Why is that not okay?
Well, also when somebody claims that we're able to interact with a free market, like, not to bring up our sponsor link too, but it's funny that if you are not a qualified investor, that there's so many things you can't touch, but yet it's a free market. But yet you regulate who can.
That was a great segue. Check out our sponsor, link to in the description. And yes, they do let you get in early on things like Ripple or Chainalysis, crypto-focused traditional stock market companies and their initial releases. And now the thing that BJ is talking about is they've lowered their minimum investments. The competitors are around $100,000. You can get in for up to $5,000. I think is what it moved to. The initial offering, I believe, was at $2,500. It's still available with the minimum investment.
If you scroll down a little bit, it's go to the bottom of the green bar.
Yeah.
There. What? No.
Too far.
God, go up.
Fine.
It's right there. So first, nope, down.
Yep. This is it right here. I see it. You don't see it. $2,500 on the first investment. Yep. 5,000 on subsequent. So they did open up again to allow people to get in with a minimum investment of $5,000. But this is what BJ is talking about, is because usually you're barred from these really good opportunities unless you got $100,000. What's up? Did Owen die? Owen's dead. Everyone, pour some liquor out for Owen. What happened?
Nothing.
Okay.
Resume.
Fine. Well, another thing, Taurus. I've seen Taurus tapping in the same way FCF Pay is. FCF Pay got integrated into HSBC in China, as well as Chase Bank last week. Seeing Taurus get integrated in the same fashion. So FCF Pay and Taurus are just two companies that I'm watching basically be the initial integrator for cryptocurrency assets being spent in the traditional markets. So I would watch them if you're, I got to see if we can get some access to these companies, because they're probably going to be big movers.
Do you know where Bank of America is really from?
Where are they from?
Italy.
Oh my God. Yeah. Really?
The bank's history dates to 1904 when Amadeo Peter Giuliani opened the Bank of Italy in San Francisco.
And then they named it Bank of America?
Yeah, what?
That's like, is it French fries? Were French fries created
No, they're
in America?
from like Belgium or something.
They're from Belgium?
Yeah.
Fraud.
Yeah.
It's
a
No,
scam.
they're fried.
Literally nothing's wrong. Not
My
fries.
God.
No, they're fraud.
The fraud. Oh, terrible. I'm going to be watching Taurus, all these other things. Don't care about the debt clock today. This is interesting. U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat from New Jersey, has been charged with acting as a foreign agent. So this just broke right as we were getting ready to go live. I believe he is actually the one that was receiving gold bars for bribery. So let's see here. Let's see what I can find on old Bob Gold. Bob Menendez Gold. Yep. Wife and him indicted on bribery charges. Department of Justice seized gold bars up to $500,000 worth. So when they're sitting here speaking from their pillars, throwing their Cadillacs from the one segment of the castle they have left, they're accepting bribery in gold while talking and attacking crypto because it's such a dangerous asset. So, just think about it. Gold, fiat, much more untraceable than cryptocurrency in general. This is just a good highlight. I wanted to highlight that. I did a short on it when it came out. There's a lot of bribery stuff that all hit at once about 2 weeks ago, and I had to cover Nancy Pelosi and all her gains, the top 50, I think it's Senate or congressmen, and their net values compared to what they actually would work to get that amount of money. Lots of stuff broke all at once about 3 weeks ago. Menendez was within that, and now it looks like he's being investigated for being a foreign agent. So that is fantastic. BJ, are you still going to buy a house?
Potentially.
Yeah?
I mean, I'm expecting things to absolutely crash. I don't think interest rates are going back down.
Okay.
But I think the end of Q4 into Q1 of next year, prices are going to come down significantly. You have a lot of people who bought into houses because mortgage brokers and real estate brokers, you got to keep in mind that it is their job to finish the transaction. So they're not going to, does not behoove them to tell you the truth here.
Right.
But probably about 80 to 90% of people who bought in the last 18 months bought under the stipulation that they would be able to refinance. As house prices go down and people have over leveraged, most people are probably at like 60% of their monthly income goes straight to mortgage. So they're like, cool, we can deal with this being underwater for a few months and then we'll be able to refinance. However, the housing market crash is already beginning. Some of houses that I've been looking at not only have been on the market for over 100 days, but they've dropped tens of thousands of dollars.
Yes, they have. I've been watching
But all
that
these
too.
people are going to be in negative equity.
Yeah.
So, let's see. You got a mortgage. Now your house is worth less than you got the mortgage for. Nobody's going to refinance you. Nobody at all. And then the other interesting thing to look at is with the actual rates on rent going down. So you have all the institutional investors pulling out. So I'm expecting prices to dump a lot. And then you almost have to look at your equilibrium point there between where your house price is and then where the interest rate is. And at some point, even though you're at like an 8%, if the house is now, $150,000 less than it was. The other really fun thing to look at are a lot of people, Nashville's a really good example of this, is you can look at a house that was $1.5 million a year ago. And what they do is they'll take it off the market. They'll put it up for rent. It won't get rented. And then they'll put it up again for $1 million. So you don't see that $500,000 price drop because the price never dropped. It actually was on the market, then was for rent, and then it was on the market. So you don't see that historical data. But a lot of places are doing that, and a lot of institutional buyers have been doing that. So there's a lot of price manipulation that's going on. But like looking at Redfin and a lot of other these charts, like you can see, like Atlanta, for example, or Georgia, for example, year over year, we're down 23%.
Yeah.
Which
In
we're one of the
Atlanta,
bigger
yes.
ones. Up north, not so much.
Right.
You can see a lot of the catalysts for this out in Cali and things like that, which are, some of those are as high as like San Francisco, I think is around 38%. Austin's super up there, probably in like the mid 20%, but things are definitely rotating around. But there's a certain point where as we get closer to the halvening, do I just dump into crypto? So I'm kind of on a precipice between those two decisions.
Yeah. I mean, dancing through these topics is kind of is really where I made majority of the money in my life. Timing out interest rates. I do have an inclination that there will be a time sooner than many people think that the
and
Fed
veteran crypto. So they can call a note when it falls below the value, and that's something I've been talking about for a while.
Yes, they can. Absolutely. But, another thing that I'm watching is that the Federal Reserve has basically increased rates at the highest velocity in American history. There's something that's definitely intrinsically broken under the surface that they're trying to hide by doing so, and keeping the rate at the same increase level that they did do in the 80s would essentially crush most of the banks. Now, is it something that they want? Do they want to demolish basically mid and smaller banks into the top five and consolidate the power? Probably,
You
right?
can centralize the power.
Centralizing the power. And also like thinking about how I feel they're going to hold the rate as high as they can for as long as they can, for sure. But I don't think that they're going to be able to not ease by the time we get to the next bull market, which essentially plays in perfectly in my mind. I think that us in crypto that are positioned ahead of these problems in the banking infrastructure, forcing the Fed into making a decision they don't want to make. In the next bull market, I think, this is my opinion, but I think that we're going to see rates come back down, and you can use your profits within crypto to again move aggressively into the real estate market at low levels. You waiting on lower prices / rates, that's probably a good take.
I'm
right
not waiting
now.
on lower rates.
You're not waiting on the lower rates?
I know that it won't happen.
You don't think so?
Again, the last 80 years, you have two cycles where that's not going to happen. 1940 and 1980, up to 70%. And then, I'm sorry, down from there, and then up to almost 17% in 1980. From there to 2020, you came back down. So we would be technically on that cycle again.
We are.
Granted, the big differences here are we have the catalyst of a fractional reserve banking at 0%, a debt ceiling that's been absolutely paused, a complete change of monetary policy. So that was the pseudo catalyst in 1971. The 40s was World War. So we'll see. But I'm not counting on them coming back down.
It's a tough call.
Nor do I really honestly care, because that's the thing. It's like I have estimated projections of how much I'm going to make more than likely in the bull run. The question is, do I want to increase that potential that I'm going to make, or just be able, like, I more than likely will be able to pay off a house in the next 18 months.
And I like how you formed your plan around Cardano hitting a reasonable level around $4. $4, right? That's the key point there, is building a plan around a reasonable expectation for a project. A lot of people will put way too much in and get burnt hard by projects that maybe they look promising last cycle, but they overexpose themselves. They can't afford to lose what they put in. You shouldn't be thinking with that mindset. You should be, keeping your expectations. Like if we do from 24 cents to $4, that's a huge move for Cardano. I know it's a little boring.
I'm a bull. I'm going to keep talking about it. And just because there needs to be a voice out there, not that there aren't other ones, but anybody who thinks it's trash, literally do a trade on it. Use the DEXs.
It works fast.
Play with the ecosystem. It's extremely fast.
Yes.
And Dex Hunter, I'm still uber bullish on. Like a lot of those trades are moving so beautifully.
Are they really? Are you using it for your swaps on all?
It's what I've actually been using the past 2 weeks now.
Okay.
And then Eric Carlson says $807 minimum. I would love to be with you on that.
See,
I really
but
would.
The thing is, if you're wrong and he's right, you're extra happy.
What was the market cap we looked at yesterday?
Let's pull it up again.
Was it $336 billion for it to get there?
Yeah, let's pull
Trust
it up
me,
again.
I want that. Like, I absolutely want that.
And it seems redundant, but we got to just pound into the brains of myself and colleagues and people who are listening, like, have reasonable expectations for these things. If it hit, oh God, that's way too much. So let's see. About
and then Sin Diesel, who says
144 billion.
The Benner cycle. I'm not familiar with that at all.
So it's 144 billion as of right now to hit that $4 a Cardano level.
And its last market cap top was what, 68 billion?
No, it was 95, $93 billion. So it wouldn't even, like, that's not really that big of a move, honestly. That's just doubling.
It depends where a lot of the liquidity goes. So a lot of people will state that the reason why Bitcoin did not hit 100,000 or something like that is because money was able to go into so many of these other alts. So with Ethereum and all of its layer 2s, depending on how bullish people are on that, will there be extra pieces of the pie for something like Cardano and that ecosystem, considering a lot of institutional investors don't really like it, or they're just being extremely quiet about it. So we'll see.
That's the question. Cosmos kind of faces the same question. You know what I mean? They're building a wide infrastructure. It works. Yeah, man, like $90 billion. If it would just, I mean, it's not even having to double its current market cap to get to that original all-time high.
No.
I don't think it's out of the question, though, to be looking around
Eric's
200.
potentially very correct.
Yeah.
It's just I'm being potentially overly conservative.
Yeah, and this is more my target. I'm thinking Cardano's going to carve out about 200 billion at the peak of the next bull market. That's kind of in general what I'm looking at. Now you got to account, there's probably going to be some printing of it and some creation of it. So this is going to be around probably 490.
Well, it's 21 million every 5 days. If you go to pooltool.io, you can see a lot of that. Like some great sources, Pool Tool, if you're trying to look at pools and things like that, like NES Pool, for example. And then the Sea Explorer is a pretty good one. But yeah, that upper corner. So, and this reward pot is 21 million. And a lot of that ends up being staked, because what the stake supply is, that's really funny that it's 66.06%.
Yeah. This is pretty awesome, though. You can see its actual levels, how many are being created. You can you can actually pay attention to all the pools and addresses here.
Oh, you want to zoom down a little bit more?
Yeah.
Oh, no, never mind. It's on your computer. I was going to say the other one, NES Pool's usually in there.
Is it?
Yep.
Let me see here. Pool Explorer.
No.
Let's see here. Where are
It's upper right hand corner where it says search. You can slam in NES and then ticker only. Ticker only is under the line that you were just on.
Let's see here.
And then right there, and we're about to end this epoch. So this epoch was a little light. All the way on the right, you hit active. There. So, and then
This is the alpha on BJ's actual
yeah,
pool.
and then something like that, like a lifetime ROS. I ran the pool for almost a year and a half with 0 delegators. So, I mean, I'm here to stick around. So,
You're hitting blocks.
Yep, I'm hitting them every single epoch. So when you see a lifetime ROS of 3, and then some pools are around 4%. So Cardano deals with halvening instead of what it does like like Bitcoin does, where it's on a finite date or a pseudo finite date. Cardano is constantly doing it over the 4 years. So the ROS potential used to be around 5%. So pools that existed then, their lifetime ROS is going to be higher because the potential was higher. I think on average it's at like 3.13%. If you click on the little house real quickly on the left-hand side.
Left little house. Let's see here.
On the sidebar.
Little house.
Home. So if you scroll down a little bit, so you can see, go down a little bit more. So we can
That's
see.
as far as I can go.
Okay. If Owen will take me out.
Get your face
Get my
out of
face
here.
out of this.
And
So
the
yeah, I do
ceiling
need
cap.
to make a video on this. So the average right now of pools, this exact epoch, epoch 439 is 2.63 to 3.15.
Okay.
And then the other, so you're looking at 2.63 to 3.68. So my pool a lot lately has been hitting 5% and things like that. However, you're going to have epochs that are around 1% or something like that because the ROS is over a year. You're going to average to that. So I would love you to move your delegation to my pool, but do realize pool jumping is useless. You're going to average out to the network average, assuming that the pool is up and running and updated and minting blocks every single epoch. So
Pretty sick. I love this. I love this site. This is great.
this one's a great one. And then, as I've said before, Cardano Cube's a really good one to look at. A bunch of different assets.
Oh God.
C Explorer lets you look at different things, and then Tap Tools to be able to look at the overall ecosystem.
Yeah. Well, we have a video. I've been alerted. We have a video debuting in just a few moments. Buy in or bug out. Coming out at 3 p.m. on this channel. So stay tuned. It's going to be in our videos tab. It'll be dropping here at 3 p.m. in just 2 minutes. So make sure you're checking it out. Spread it to your friends. This is me just talking off the cuff on what happens if I wake up and zombies are eating my dog. So hope you enjoy that. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Allison, it was an absolute pleasure having you today.
Yay! I had
Absolute
so much
pleasure.
fun.
You're an absolute gem.
Allison, we got Saucy in chat. I love you.
Yes.
Mwah.
Thank
Saucy.
you, everyone in chat. Sin Diesel, Ralphie, Veteran Crypto, Bob from Accounting, C90 FTW, and King D. You're all fantastic. Hannah, thank you for joining us here.
Also, C90
Yes.
FTW asks if I need a pool boy. No, but I need a pool zaddy.
Until next time, we bid you adieu.